Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcome back to the Polished Beauty segment with contributor Dr. Daisy Ayim. She's a triple board certified cosmetic surgeon and OBGYN and founder of the Polished Beauty podcast. We're tackling some hard-hitting truths about real estate, entrepreneurship, and what it really takes to build wealth in America. Real estate is often sold as the ultimate wealth building tool, but is the system rigged against the average person? And what does it take to break through industry barriers as women of color while keeping a family-run business thriving? Joining us today are two powerhouse women who know exactly what it means to navigate the highs and lows of the real estate world. Monay Braden is a dual entrepreneur and a single mother who dominates both the beauty and real estate industries. She's the founder of Mosaic Premium Hair Extensions, which is a luxury brand empowering women through high-quality hair solutions, and a top-producing real estate agent with a Braden Real Estate Group, helping clients buy and sell homes with ease. Beyond business, you may also recognize her and her family from Family Empire Houston, which streams on OWN and HBO Max. Nicole Handy is a top-producing real estate agent from Houston and the co-CEO of Braden Real Estate Group. With over 100 million in sales, she's built such an extraordinary career in real estate, helping families and investors find their dream properties. She's also a star of Family Empire Houston and a shining example of success in the competitive Texas housing market. Joining us now to chat breaking barriers and building wealth, the truth about real estate, family, and financial freedom are my amazing trailblazers, Monay, Nicole, and Dr. Daisy. Welcome to the show, superstars.
Hello.
Hi, Nicole and Monay. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Now let's chat. I'm going to lead in with some of the heavier conversations, discrimination in real estate. So the real estate industry has a long history of racial and gender bias, from redlining to unequal access to funding. And studies show that Black homeowners still face discrimination in the buying and lending process, and female entrepreneurs often struggle to secure funding at the same rate as their male counterparts. Monay and Nicole, have you ever faced blatant discrimination in your careers, and how did you push through it? What advice do you have for others that faced similar barriers?
Just from my point of view, I know that, the real estate industry is pretty much a male dominated industry. So of course, being a woman of color, female, we do kind of tend to get overlooked sometimes, underestimated, just being in the real estate industry. So for me, I feel like we can overcome, these barriers by just kind of educating our clients, kind of using, our expertise, kind of just reeling back to what we have done and, making footprints in the industry, especially in the luxury industry. You don't see a lot of women selling million dollar homes.
And what about your perspective?
NAR has recently brought down some changes in regards to real estate compensation. And if we look at that compensation and what the new rules and compensation changes, I do think it does affect the minority community the most. Black and brown people are some of the biggest consumers of affordable housing. And it's just making it a little more hard for buyers, really, people that just want to be homeowners, to be able to figure out how to compensate their real estate agents for the services that they render. So I go back and forth with it. Sometimes I do see both sides, where as to how, sellers don't feel like that they should be compensating the buyer's agent. But however, like I said, that I personally feel like that rule is affecting Black and brown homeowners more than anyone else, because a lot of Black and brown homeowners honestly struggle to just be able to pay the down payment and the closing costs associated with purchasing a home. So to add on how they're now going through the stresses of having to compensate their real estate agent out of their own pocket, it has been some challenges.
Now let's talk about the reality of homeownership affordability. So the real estate boom has made homeownership feel like an elite privilege rather than an achievable goal for the average person. And mortgage rates are rising. Corporations are buying up homes, and first-time buyers are getting squeezed out of the market. Do you think the current system is rigged against middle-class buyers?
I think it's different, right? we have to navigate it differently, right? I don't necessarily say that it's rigged against middle class buyers, because what we're seeing, especially in the Houston market, is people want to sell homes, right? And there's an abundance of opportunity to still get homes in Houston. We just have to be strategic with those solutions. Now, affordability with the interest rates has indeed changed. The $500,000 home that you used to buy, especially here in Texas, looks totally different, right? It has changed, and I think that's the biggest heartbreak that we're having to overcome, especially in a lot of these cities. COVID, the rising prices of COVID with lower interest rates, had a huge impact on the values of homes. And so as the market has started to correct itself and prices have come down, unfortunately, they're still higher.
Mhm.
And if you look at markets like Houston, Texas, people's salaries have not risen the same.
Yeah, that's an important perspective, because home ownership has always been seen as the American dream. But if you don't address systemic imbalances, that dream might become a luxury for the few instead of a right for the many, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So on a lighter note, ladies, working together as a family, a lot of people assume that it could be a disastrous combination, like ego clashes, money dispute, blur boundaries. I want to know, have you guys had any major conflicts together, and how did you handle it?
So working with family, it can be interesting. But I say me and Nicole, we just kind of, we know what our job is. Me and Nicole, we communicate on a daily basis, all day, every day, pretty much. And so with that, it comes with, of course, just, chit chatting about our day, but of course, going over and communicating about business and, what our tasks are for the day. Have we reached out to certain clients? What's next on our agenda? So I just think that it's communication that goes a long way when working with family members, and, causing those clashes, to stay at a minimum.
So let's talk about the impact of reality TV on business credibility, because this is something you both can speak to, right? There's always debate around reality TV and professional credibility. I mean, some argue that showcasing your personal life dilutes your brand, while others say it's just the smartest way to reach new audiences. Has starring in Family Empire Houston helped or hurt your reputation in the industry? Have you faced any skepticism from clients or colleagues? Nicole, I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think personally, it has helped our brand, being on a national stage, in any given, bringing visibility to our brand. You do have people that may question your motive, right? But I think it's also equally important to make sure you have a brand outside of reality TV too. And I think that is what's helped us, the Braden brand, the Braden family, still thrive with some of the challenges that you see on national TV, but we've had so many people reach out to us and thank us for spotlighting our family in ways that is not business related. When you watch the show, you'll see us doing business, but you'll also see us, having some challenging family moments. But I think we've impacted way more than the skeptical people that, have come to us. We've had so many people reach out and say, your story is my story. Thank you for spotting like that. You've helped me, to be able to recognize that I need to do something different, or, these are challenges in our family that we need to face head on. I'll be honest, for me, it was very difficult to put my personal life on TV, and I still struggle with it to this day.
Of course, everyone sees us as real estate professionals, but I think they gain the appreciation to see us as being real people, and seeing us being, entrepreneurs, moms, just our family dynamics. So I think we just got a lot of love for people appreciating us being real people and being transparent with, what was going on in our lifestyles.
So the Houston market, or the Texas market, I should say in general, is on fire. We have so many transplants to the state, and we see it everywhere we drive, new Texas plate or different placement and whatnot. I want to know, it's like a bubble, right? Do you think this is going to burst? And if so, who do you think is going to suffer the most?
So, yeah, I do think it will get to a point to where it's going to burst, right? Just being honest. So if you look at cities like LA, Los Angeles right now, it's not affordable at all. People can go to Los Angeles. Well, let me say not affordable compared to Texas, right? Texas is much more affordable in terms of the size of the home that you get for the price and things like that. And so that's why I feel like we're having so many transplants, because when you look at the Houston and even the Texas market opposed to other cities, it's much more affordable to live here. Not only from an affordability side, we have a thriving economy. We have one of the top medical centers here in the nation. Our oil and gas industry is very strong. Our tech industry is on a rise. So people can come here and not only live affordable, but thrive in their jobs and opportunities and get, affordable income as well. But yes, because it's so affordable, we're having so many people move here, right? And so that's impacting the native Houstonians the most. And it's also because you actually have, and I've seen this hand over foot, a lot of remote workers that are living off salaries based on the the cost of living for other states. For example, California, we have tons of now Houstonians that quote unquote work remotely for states like California and things like that. So they get paid a California salary while living off of the what it costs to live in Texas. So that's very advantageous to them. And it opens up even other opportunities to work additional or second jobs here. So their income looks totally different than what a native Houstonian or somebody that's native to this city and working a job that pays a salary that's aligned with the cost of living for Houston or Texas. So I do feel like, yeah, people are catching on to that. Californians, other people from other states are catching on to that. And I think it will cause a bubble. I mean, it will eventually cause a bubble that will burst. And the people that will lose out are the people that's working off of Texas salaries.
That's a great point.
It's just seeming that, we worry about the demand for the housing supply, it's just so many people come in so fast. We're just worried that builders will not be able, to keep up with the high demand that's coming into Houston. So I do think at some point, we're just not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah. And with demand, prices go up.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that kind of takes us into the next one, which is really critical in Houston. And I've not seen it much of other places in the country, the zoning laws. It's so lax and loose. On one street or one block, you can have a home, you can have a strip club, you can have a bar, you can have a school. Anything goes. How do you see that creating some sort of stability or instability in the property values in Houston and also displacing communities? Where do you stand on that?
So Dr. David, just like you said, we are kind of scared because, in those underdeveloped communities, you can see, an older home and then they could build a high rise, right next to it, kind of affecting the price. So that is a little scary. I would just say better, urban planning. But we do need that gentrification in those areas. I think it's definitely overdue, for development. We want to see, new homes. We want to see new businesses, thrive in those segments. So just kind of, again, going back to kind of better urban planning, and making sure that we're able to keep those legacy residents still, that's not affecting them and still able to keep affordable housing. So not as much as loose zoning, but just more planning,
Yeah, that makes sense because those, especially Houston's zoning laws are loose compared to other areas. And that, to your point, allows for rapid expansion. But you know what? That creates unstable property values, and that contributes to the gentrification you're talking about. That displaces communities. So it definitely has to be addressed, which brings me into real estate still being the best investment. Let's get your thoughts on this. So for decades, real estate has been sold as the best wealth building tool, but with high mortgage rates and corporate investors and economic instability, some experts argue that it's no longer the fastest path to financial freedom. Do you still believe real estate is the best long-term investment, or are we being sold a dream?
I absolutely, hands down, still believe that real estate is one of the best long-term investments, especially with building wealth. But here's the thing. It's not, like you said, it's a long-term investment. So people it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but historically, regardless how you look at real estate and what market you have come from, historically, real estate has appreciated year over year. Now, we do have times where we might have a crisis like COVID or something like that, or the 2008 home crisis. I totally understand that. But the market always has seemed to correct itself. But again, I think that's where a lot of these investors are saying that it's not as affordable or we're being sold a dream because they're looking more so to get in and out quickly. real estate is a long-term wealth building strategy. And I always tell my clients, look at real estate as another form of a bank account. Look at equity in your property as another form of a bank account. It may not be liquid cash, but equity in a property is can be leverageable, right? And so that's where I think we're missing it, is that it's not a short-term strategy, and it'll never be a short-term strategy, but long-term, absolutely.
So with millennials and Generation Z buyers rejecting traditional homeownership, just like we talked about now, and they're prioritizing mobility, sustainability, how does the Braden Real Estate Group, you guys, pivot to meet the demands of this shifting generation?
So the Gen Zers, they are not traditional. They are, they don't want to be stuck to 30-year fixed mortgage. So, we just have to switch it up by kind of changing the play, and what's interesting and what's important to them. So which is kind of, me and Nicole, we're into educating our clients on house hacking now. So it's kind of, the multifamily, investing in multifamilies, being able to stay on one side and renting out the other, Airbnbs, Airbnb opportunities. So just making the home buying process interesting for the Gen Zers to just accommodate their lifestyle. And another way is just through social media. The Gen Zers are not, just hopping on HAR or Zillow. They're social media driven now. So we have to educate and put these houses in front of these Gen Zers through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, so just kind of making the home buying process more fun. And that way the Gen Zers can kind of still show interest.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's a change in time.
Well, we are officially at the end of our time, but I know that Dr. Daisy has one last question. She asks all her guests before we sign off. Dr. Daisy, do you want to go ahead and take it away?
Absolutely. So Monay, Nicole, obviously I'm very impressed by you guys' accomplishments. And I want to know, if there was one thing that has gotten you guys to where you are today in this successful empire, what would it be?
Oh, I would say taking a risk. We don't have it all figured out, but we still, still taking that risk and still learning every day. So that would just kind of be, my pickup from it.
Honestly, I say discipline. I still wake up at 4:30 every single morning, right? Half of my day is done before the rest of the world wakes up. So, hard work and discipline, I don't think you could ever shy away from that. Consistency showing up. It's hard to show up every day, so consistently showing up and giving your best effort every day, I think that's made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, that resonates with me too. I say the same thing. I'm up at 5:30. I tell my 9-year-old, do you know how much I get accomplished between 5:30 and 7:30 when you wake up? It's just my time to get to organize my day.
Yeah.
And so I encourage all of our agents to wake up early. I have a mentor group. I encourage them to wake up early. Just start off being productive. I don't like to start off the day with tons of things to do, right? I like to start off my day with, hey, I've already knocked out half of my day.
Yeah.
I love that. 4:30 is early. I thought 5 a.m. But 4:30, that's why I was like, whoa.
I sleep in on Fridays. I treat myself on Fridays. I don't wake up until 6 on Fridays, but Monday through Thursday, 4:30 a.m.
Wow. Well, Monay, Nicole, this has been eye-opening. Real estate is more than just buying and selling houses. It's about wealth, opportunity, and breaking barriers in an evolving economy. And you have done just that. And you've done it as sisters, and you continue to do it. So I thank you so much for your transparency and your insights, because chatting with you guys was truly fun.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah.
For anyone looking to connect, you can follow Monay Braden on Instagram at The Real Monay, and check out Mosaic Premium Hair Extensions and Braden Real Estate Group. They're also on the gram. To follow Nicole, you can check her out at Miss Nikki Handy, and you can head directly to Braden Real Estate Group spelled out all with one word, on Instagram. And of course, watch them on Family Empire Houston, now streaming on OWN and HBO Max. And a big thank you, as always, to Dr. Daisy Ayim, my contributor for Polished Beauty segment. You can follow her on Instagram at Dr. Daisy Ayim and tune onto her podcast, The Polished Beauty Podcast, on thepolishedbeautypodcast.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this. A Moment of Zen is brought to you by the Polished Beauty Podcast with Dr. Daisy Ayim. Hey, ambitious women, ready to shine on the inside and out? Tune in to the Polished Beauty Podcast, where we talk about business, beauty, brains, and body all in one spot. Meet Dr. Daisy Ayim, triple board certified cosmetic surgeon, pro-aging advocate, fitness enthusiast, and your go-to for real talk on leveling up every part of your life. The Polished Beauty Podcast is your dose of ambition meets empowerment. For more information, head to polishedbeautypodcast.com.